Today we're going to discuss a somewhat controversial topic, compromise. Now, the question goes like this. My husband and I are both very strong-willed people. We both want what we want. As a result, it leads to a lot of arguments, in that neither of us really wants to give in. Sometimes we do compromise, but it leaves a bit of a sour taste in our mouth, as neither of us are really happy having to give in. So our question is, how do we deal with situations when we both want different things? So it's a very good question. On the one hand, compromise definitely has its benefits, as both sides are getting something they want. On the other side, it has its downside in that neither side is fully getting what they want. Now, our world reflects the spiritual worlds. In Chassidus, it discusses the idea of the world of Tohu and the world of Tikkun. Now, Tohu is characterized by very powerful lights and smaller vessels. In other words, the vessels aren't able to contain the powerful lights. Now, on a social level, the powerful lights can be thought about as egotistical, self-centered, not being able to merge and coalesce and unite with another person. Whereas in Tikkun, the lights are smaller, less powerful, and the vessels are larger. In other words, the vessels are able to contain the lights. Now, again, on a social level, the lights can be looked at as the idea of acceptance, humility, empathy, understanding, to be able to merge, unite, and get along with somebody else. And as a result, the vessel is able to contain the lights. Now, what happened in Tohu? Because the lights were so powerful, it caused a shattering, a breaking of the vessels. Now, so too, when our goal is trying to achieve our desire, it leads to separation. In other words, a breaking of the vessels, conflict. But when we want what's best for the other person, what happens? Unity occurs. There's the ability to come together and unite. So we don't have to abandon our wants, but at the same time, we also want what's best for our spouse, what's best for the other person. Example, a wife says to her husband, I don't want to have Shabbos guests. We need more family time. It's too much. I don't want to have Shabbos guests anymore. So right away, the husband's defenses are triggered, and he starts to argue why they should have Shabbos guests, because that's what he wants. On the other hand, if the wife says, you know, I know having Shabbos guests is important to you, and I also want you to feel good too. At the same time, it's important we have more family time. Why don't we agree to have Shabbos guests every other week? From that perspective, the husband feels like his needs, his wants are being considered and taken into account. And from that point of view, he's more open to compromise. So again, compromise is a very beneficial thing, but it's more beneficial and more effective when it's approached from point of view of each side also wanting the other side to get what they want. And the truth is, when we acknowledge and care about the other person's needs, they'll be more likely to care and acknowledge our needs too.